You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the controversial data center project in Joplin will be addressed at this evening's council meeting.
But first, the humble penny might be worth more than before, thanks to collectors.
And we've got mostly cloudy skies. We had some good coloring on the clouds, but as the sun rises, we're losing that. Breezy conditions as well. A look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Tuesday, February the 17th. Happy Tuesday to everybody. So we're now through Valentine's Day.
We
made it. We're here.
And I know some people were having to pinch their pennies to make sure that they were able to do it, because I know they said like spending was like record high this year.
I based on what I saw just in Joplin on Valentine's Day, I absolutely believe it. But now, if you've got pennies in your car, down the road, that might be worth more than your car.
Yeah, you know, they say coin collectors are continuing their hobby despite the government stopping penny production last year.
KOAM's Nellie Lopez stopped by a common sense presentation to speak with Dave Sorek, owner of In God We Trust, LLC, to see what pennies are worth looking for.
You just like coins, you know. If you look at them and they're old and then found out they're a little valuable, then you really like them.
Coin collectors are still picking up pennies, even though the U.S. government halted the coins production in 2025, which didn't come to a surprise to a district representative for the American Numismatic Association, America's Coin Club.
We kind of saw it coming. It's very expensive to make the cents. So it's a money-saving thing, and I think it'll be good overall. There's been a bit of overreaction to it in terms of taking cents out of circulation. There are billions and billions of cents in production, and there should be plenty to go around. Part of what we're doing today is encouraging people to spend their loose change so that in our area we can continue commerce with money.
Even though Dave is encouraging to still use loose change, there are some pennies that carry more value than others.
Predominantly we're talking about coins that are made before 1981. Those are actually copper cents. The cents that have been made since then, 1982 to present, are actually a zinc base with a copper wash, and they really have very little intrinsic value. We're encouraging people to spend those. There are older collectible coins too, like wheat cents in the Lincoln series or Indian cents, and those are highly collectible as well.
A collection that still gets the attention of Dan, that's been collecting since 1950s. And will continue to do so despite the production halt.
I don't really make any difference to me if they discontinue or not. They'll just round it up. You know, they never go down. They'll round it up to the next coin.
In Minden Mines, Missouri, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
Well, change continues to vary by business on whether they accept pennies or round change up or down. But Dave says check those years before spending your loose change.
Well, like I said earlier, you know, I've got a little thing in my car full of pennies. I think at some point, if they're the right year and everything, they may end up being worth more than the car.
And see, like, here's the thing, like, I know a lot of people like Gen Z, like me, we don't carry much cash. Like, we aren't spending much actual bills. Like, I don't get change very often anymore. At all. Yeah,
it's a rare occurrence. Yeah. Man, I don't spend that much cash either. It's just under the right circumstance, you'll have to spend some cash. But look out for those pennies, and look out for those gusty winds as well, as it's going to be a very warm, very breezy day out there. Let's take a look first with downtown Pittsburgh. Mostly cloudy to straight up cloudy skies, as you can see, and we've got gusty winds. Westco camera, 7th and range line, looking back again just before we came on, as the sun was rising, we had some really neat colors and textures on these clouds, but it's gotten up just high enough that we don't see that. And yeah, I don't know what that is. Something attached to that tower, and it likes to blow around on windy days, and it looks very strange. But at least it's not a creature. If it was a creature, it'd be a little more interesting. All right, KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh, looking north toward Pittsburgh. Looks good. And our final stop, sorry, my nose is just itching. Oh no, is that supposed to mean there's change in the air or something like that? Change. We were talking about change. All right, coffee's kicking in, by the way. Mostly cloudy skies, MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. I don't know if the coffee needs to kick in, but it is. All right, 57 in Joplin. 55 in Pittsburgh. And now you can see those winds are picking up. Now, of course, the camera here at 32nd range line is zoomed in, so it kind of enhances that effect, but it does give you the idea that winds are continuing to increase. And look at these temperatures. Anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees above where we were yesterday. And we're on average several degrees above normal for our highs already this morning. Our cool spot looks to be Cassville at 51. We've got some 58s out there. Miami and Grove, those are the warmer temperatures, but all of us in the 50s this morning. We'll have those mostly cloudy skies today. An isolated shower is possible anywhere, but most of us will be dry and breezy out there. In fact, Future Track tries to pick up on a little shower. That's what we're looking at. A shower like that could happen anywhere, but as you can see, it's very isolated. Most of us won't see anything. While we don't have any fire weather alerts, my goodness, it won't stop. I'm so sorry. I know that looks so weird. It just won't stop. I'm going to have to handle this. We don't have any fire weather alerts today. That doesn't mean it's safe to do any outdoor burning. It just means our wind gusts up to 40 are just below that criteria. Yesterday, we were looking at gusts, especially out west, that could have been 45 or 50. That number's come back a bit, but this is still very gusty winds. Could still lead to rapid fire spreading, so don't do any outdoor burning. No discarding smoking materials or anything else that's flammable out there. But do otherwise enjoy the temperatures. Our upper 50s by 9, upper 60s, low 70s for our highs today. And as I mentioned, south winds gusting to 40. And the reason I say enjoy the temperatures is because Thursday night, we're going to start to turn back into February temperatures, maybe even some February type weather this weekend. Details on that in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The Joplin City Council will meet tonight at Missouri Southern to vote on a controversial data center project. The meeting was moved to accommodate larger crowds after January's packed session, where the council voted to annex and rezone 540 acres of the Wildwood Ranch property at the intersection of Central City Road West and West 20th Street, to the dismay of many residents. The meeting begins at 6 p.m. at MSSU's Corley Auditorium. A former city employee at the Carthage Golf Course is no longer facing criminal charges. Mark Peterson was accused of stealing more than $140,000 from city funds. An audit had determined the money was missing, and investigators had questions about how money was handled at the Carthage Golf Course, where Peterson was the longtime manager. The state attorney general's office charged him with felony stealing and money laundering, but has now filed a dismissal in the case. Peterson's attorney says, quote, "This case highlights the dangerous circumstances when data may be manipulated to arrive at the conclusion desired." He adds that the legal team sifted through terabytes of data to demonstrate Peterson's innocence. The charges can be refiled at a later time. Well, the FBI is searching for a Southwest Missouri man accused of running a massive cattle fraud scheme. The U.S. Attorney's Office is filed federal charges against Joshua Robert Link of Strafford, Missouri. Prosecutors say it was a $220 million scam that victimized more than 2,200 people nationwide. Link and 4 others allegedly promised investors they would buy specific cattle, raise them, and sell the meat for profit through their company Agridime. Instead, authorities say they used new investor money to pay earlier investors and personal expenses. The other defendants have been arrested. Well, a Carl Junction police officer has died. A statement from the Carl Junction Police Department says Officer John Todd Gaines appeared to suffer a medical emergency at his home shortly after his shift ended early Monday morning. Officer Gaines worked at Carl Junction since July 2024. The list of agencies and police departments extending their condolences continues to grow. There's no word yet on services. Well, those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up, Charlene Patton makes chocolate cherry cake. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, and we've got our good friend Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission with us. So, of course, Valentine's Day last week featuring some amazing desserts, healthy desserts, and you don't always find those combined. You don't find healthy and dessert always together, but in this case, it's exactly what we've got, and they're still very full of flavor here.
Oh, they are, and as you said, a couple of your favorite ingredients.
Yes.
We're making a chocolate cherry cake.
I love both of those.
And the cherries in this is cherry preserves.
Okay.
So that's kind of an interesting recipe. It's also Bake for Family Fun Month.
Yes.
I know you have children that like to get in the kitchen. And I'll just remind everybody, we have a wonderful handout that is on our website that you can link to. It's provided by the Home Baking Association to us.
Okay.
And it's called The Thrill of Skill. And it tells you at what age different children can do different things. It starts out at age 2, and get those kids in the kitchen, and they'll have a lifetime of skills that they build up.
Absolutely. And a lifetime of amazing meals, too.
And that's right. All right, you've got all-purpose flour in here. You're going to add soy flour, baking soda, baking powder, and cocoa. I'll let you mix that. And then what I have over here is our soy ingredient, which is vegetable oil. I've already got granulated sugar in here. We're going to put in the cherry preserves that will go in this recipe. And then I'm going to add, I'll let you smell this. It's not vanilla, it's almond. Wow. Doesn't that smell good?
It does.
Yes.
It's super sweet.
Yes, almond extract. And I think I'll stir this a little bit to get this started mixing to that. And then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of soy milk. Now I'm using plain soy milk, but if you have vanilla, you could use vanilla. Okay, we'll add that in there. How are you doing?
I think so far so good. We got everything pretty well mixed up here.
All right. And now add your chocolate chips in there.
Okay.
So now I've got the liquid added here. And then you're going to add all of yours to this recipe.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let's get these mixed really good here. We'll make sure it's just right.
You know, we talked about that list starts at age 2. And if you measure the ingredients, even little ones can put them into a big mixing bowl. And when you're working with children, allow a little extra time. You probably already know that. But then teach them too that, you know, while things are baking in the oven, let's clean up and get ready to right when it comes out. Because that way the children learn from the very beginning that the whole process of baking and cooking and cleaning up, and at the same time they're doing all that, then they're also learning the benefits of soy. We have vegetable oil that's in here, and the only ingredient in there is soybeans.
Yeah, I remember it's been a couple of years ago that I first learned that, and so I had to go look myself and be sure. Not like I didn't trust you, but I was like, how have I never noticed before?
Yes,
but
the only ingredient. We thank our soybean farmers. So now we're going to grease an 8-inch square baking pan. We're going to pour this in there and bake it for about 15 minutes. Use a wooden pick and make sure that it comes out clean. Then when it's warm out of the oven, you'll love this, Chris.
Yes.
We're going to put on more of the cherry preserves. You can see how shiny it is. It has more of that on there, so you have even more rich flavor. And you can either add ice cream to this, you could add whipping cream to that, just for a little extra bonus.
Imagine this coming out nice and warm from the oven. Put a little of the cherry on there, a little vanilla ice cream or something on top, and let it just kind of, man, this is an amazing dessert. And I'm sure folks at home want to know where they can get this recipe. Where can they do so?
They should go to kansassoybeans.org. You can also call our 800 number, 877-KS-SOYBEAN, and we'll mail them all the recipes for February.
Excellent. Charlene, thank you so much. Amazing desserts for us this month. We will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:18 now on this Tuesday morning, and we are beginning with the future track because we have clouds. We already have the clouds, and we will continue to have the clouds through the majority of today. We'll also have those gusty winds today. So as I mentioned earlier, even though we don't have any fire weather alerts in the area, it doesn't mean it's any safer for any kind of burning, okay? It's just the winds don't meet the criteria, but it is still very breezy with those winds gusting up to 40. So again, no outdoor burning, no discarding smoking materials or anything else that's flammable from your vehicle, your house, or whatever it may be, because anything could spark and it could very easily lead to a fire that could spread quickly. Now, we got the clouds, got the wind. Anywhere in the area, we could see an isolated shower, but the majority of us won't see anything. And Future Track tries to pick up on, in fact, I'll show you here in just a bit as we get into this evening. In fact, there it starts. This is kind of an example. This is, again, not a guarantee that at this time right there will be a shower. But this is a kind of an example of what we could see at any point today is just something like this, short-lived, not much to it, and then it's gone. And so that's why our rain chances are low, but not zero across the area. After midnight, winds will begin to ease up a bit, and we'll start going partly cloudy. We're partly cloudy for a good portion of Wednesday. As we head into Wednesday afternoon and evening, winds will pick back up out of the southwest. Not extreme like today, but still pretty breezy, and that will continue into our Thursday as well. Now, Thursday is where things do begin to change for us. We're still above normal, and we have south winds initially, but we have a system passing just to our northeast. It will not do much for us in terms of any kind of precipitation, unfortunately, because as you know, we do need that rain, but we'll start setting our temperatures back to the right point for this time of year. But because of how warm it's been, normal temperatures are going to feel very cold out there. Winds are still gusty on Thursday, and that system, as it's passing off to our north and northeast, we start to see winds switch out of the west, and then eventually they're going to start to switch out of the northwest by late Thursday. And by Thursday evening, as this thing gets closer, that's where those winds are really going to begin to ramp up for us. And then as we go late night and into Friday, those winds ease up, but now they're out of the northwest, and we have cooler temperatures, colder temperatures are rolling into the area. As for today, though, as you can see, it is cloudy out there, and that's going to be the case. Low 50s to start, mid 60s by 11 a.m. And as we look at temperatures for our highs today, upper 60s, low 70s. Again, the isolated shower chance really anywhere, but most of us won't see anything. South winds sustained at 15 to 25, gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour. So that's again why no outdoor burning. And if you're driving a high profile or mid profile vehicle, or if you're hauling something, you got a big trailer or whatever the case may be, you need to be cautious, especially on east-west roadways because of those gusty winds. Still breezy through the evening. Like I said, the winds will begin to ease up after midnight out of the south at 10 to 15. But before that, still quite windy, still fairly mild, mid-50s by 10. Overnight lows tonight, right about 50. Tomorrow, back into the low 70s again. 50s tomorrow night. We'll go into the low 60s on Thursday. And we're into the 30s and 20s, upper 20s, low 30s Thursday night. As we go into the weekend, you can see our temperatures, those overnight lows, they're cold, but they're seasonably cold. Same with our highs. Now, that said, I know you're seeing this. First, look at the chances. They're not very great at this point. Second, with the warmer weather during the day, and the warm weather we have leading up to it, we're not expecting much in terms of any kind of accumulations or anything. But Friday night into Saturday morning, a wintry mix possible. But as we warm up, anybody who's seeing precipitation, I'll transition into some showers. It's a slight chance, though. And then the same thing happens Saturday night into Sunday, maybe a light wintry mix, and then a few showers as we go into Sunday, and then those will clear out. This cool down, though, or return to normal, really, is short-lived. We'll go back above average by the second half of next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Topping Health Watch. The Food and Drug Administration updated an existing peanut butter recall. More than 22,000 affected single-serve products were distributed to 40 states. They include both peanut butter packets and small cups containing both peanut butter and jelly. The products were produced by Ventura Foods and sold to distributors, mostly under private label brands. The problem is pieces of blue plastic were found in a filter at the facility where they're made. The FDA's new designation for the recall is Class 2. That means consuming the product could cause temporary illness, but not likely anything serious or life-threatening. We have a supplement recall to let you know about. Ambrosia Brands is recalling certain lots of its Rosabella Moringa capsule products due to possible salmonella contamination. The recalled product was sold to consumers across the U.S. on the Try Rosabella website and through TikTok Shop. To date, there have been 7 illnesses resulting in 3 hospitalizations due to salmonella contamination. Ambrosia Brands is urging customers to reach out to the company if they have any questions about the recall. Well, it's now the deadliest cancer for U.S. adults under the age of 50. Colorectal cancer is increasingly killing younger people, including actor James Van Der Beek, who died last week at the age of 48. Health experts say there are 5 main warning signs of this disease that you should never dismiss. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither goes over those red flags and explains how one action can not only detect cancer, but help prevent it.
It continues to be a concerning trend. Colorectal cancer is killing more young adults, with death rates rising in those under age 50 by more than 1% every year for more than 20 years, advancing this disease from the 5th most common cause of cancer death in the early to mid-90s to the most common in those under age 50 in 2023.
This is really an outlier and really something that needs significant attention.
Dr. William Dayhut with the American Cancer Society says deaths are declining for other cancers in young adults. It's only colorectal cancer deaths that continue to rise. There are 5 warning signs that many may dismiss: persistent abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, persistent diarrhea or constipation, unexplained weight loss, and iron deficiency anemia, often caused by hidden blood loss leading to fatigue and weakness.
Young people should not ignore any symptom that they find unusual, and that if they see their physician and they're told they're too young to have a problem, they probably need to see somebody else.
Dayhut says about half of the colorectal cancer deaths in young adults are in those between the ages of 45 and 49, and screening is lowest in that age group. A colonoscopy can find polyps which can turn into cancer and get rid of them.
If those polyps are removed, that reduces or can eliminate the risk of cancer from those polyps.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, coming up, K-State introduces their newest employee, a hospitality robot.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:31. I'm Samantha Walker. Kansas State University introduces a robot assistant to help hospitality students prepare for the future. The Wabash Cannon bot operates at Lacey's Fresh Fare and Catering, delivering food directly to customers after student employees input destinations. The robot is part of a food production management class funded by the USDA to bring advanced technology into the classroom. Students say the robot provides valuable experience with technology they'll encounter in their careers.
When they graduate and they're managing operations, it's not a question of if restaurants and hotels and hospitals are going to use a robot, they're already using them. So we're trying to educate our students to really know how to interact with that robot to really serve the guests, because that's ultimately what it's all about, is serving the guests.
Despite Wabash Cannon bot even playing the school fight song, reactions from customers have been mixed. Some smile at the robot while others prefer human services. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Again, we've got those mostly cloudy skies out there today, which you can already see, and in some cases will just be straight up cloudy out there. It's downtown Pittsburgh. West Coast camera, 7th and range line. Another view of those mostly cloudy skies, and the same situation here. KDOT camera 69 and 400, and then our final stop, the MoDOT camera 20th and range line in Joplin. Folks getting their day underway on a cloudy and breezy day. A very mild day, though. Look at these temperatures. 57 in Joplin, 55 in Pittsburgh, and across the area we are all hanging out in the 50s. The coolest spots we have look to be the 52s that we've got in Monette and Cassville. We've got some 58s, Veneta, Grove, and Miami. So those are the warmer spots, but all of us well above average already, and we're not done yet. We'll have an opportunity for an isolated shower really anywhere in the area. Future Track will give you a small sample of what we could see, and that's what we're talking about. One of those could pop up anywhere, but most of us won't see anything, which is why, even though there are no fire weather alerts today, no outdoor burning. All right, we still have the gusty south winds, and we don't have the fire alerts because yesterday, you recall, we had the fire weather watches, our northwestern counties. The stronger winds are going to be just to our west, it looks like. And so we're just below the criteria for fire weather alerts. So that doesn't make it any safer to do any burning, so please do not. We're going to go to the upper 50s by 9, upper 60s and low 70s for our highs today. And again, south winds 15 to 25 sustained with gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour. Winds ease up after midnight. We're still mild through Thursday. A system passing close by Thursday, though, takes our temperatures back to normal heading into the weekend. We'll go over those details with you in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. The Southeast School District is moving forward with plans following the decision to close a century-old building. Last night's USD 247 work session comes after the school board voted to close the main building at Southeast Elementary School due to water damage, mold problems, and structural issues. Repairs would have cost the district at least $750,000. The question now, grade level changes for the next school year. The preferred option keeps pre-K through 2nd grade at the elementary school in Weir, and then 3rd through 8th grade would attend class at the current Southeast Middle School. A second plan moves pre-K through 6 to the middle school and shifts 7th and 8th to the high school. The board also discussed options for demolition. No decisions were made last night. Well, it's the end of an era for one of Silver Dollar City's oldest rides. The park announces the closure of the Thunderation roller coaster after more than 30 years. The 80-foot tall coaster that reaches 48 miles per hour will shut down at the end of 2026. Marvel Cave Mining Company wants the land back for geological surveys. The mining company stopped operations in 1889, but now plans to return to work underground in Marvel Cave. Rather than fight the decision, Silver Dollar City plans to celebrate the ride's final year with a special send-off for visitors. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A shipwreck from over 150 years ago has been discovered in the Great Lakes. In Consumer Watch, more fallout from the Epstein files. The executive chairman of Hyatt Hotels, billionaire Tom Pritzker, announced on Monday he is retiring. It follows the most recent release of files by the government that reveal Pritzker's association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Pritzker has served as executive chairman of the hotel chain since 2004. In a statement, Pritzker said he regretted his association with Epstein and Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. He said he used terrible judgment in maintaining contact with them and leaving his top-level role. Pritzker said, quote, "Good stewardship also means protecting Hyatt." Well, it might be time to break that piggy bank. The Wall Street Journal reports a number of companies are raising prices once again. That's after a trend of holding them steady for the holiday shoppers. Many retailers cite pressure from tariffs. Some small businesses say they're also grappling with wages and high healthcare costs. They have tighter margins than larger companies. Many retailers also increased prices last year after new tariffs took effect. Well, when it comes to job creation, 2026 is off to a strong start, according to the latest jobs report. But many employers say it's taking longer to fill positions. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains why some online tools many are using to speed up the application process is actually slowing down hiring for employers.
Finding a new job can often feel like a full-time job because of how long it can take to get hired.
The job process is always a frustrating one.
Dawn Fay with recruiting firm Robert Half says the good news is many companies say they're hiring. They recently conducted a survey of more than 2,000 U.S. hiring managers. 60% said they plan to add permanent staff. And the latest jobs report released last week beat expectations, with 130,000 jobs being added in January and unemployment ticking down to 4.3%. But Faye says it's taking companies longer to fill openings, and one of the reasons, applicants are increasingly depending on AI to craft resumes and cover letters.
There are so many resumes that are coming in now, many of them looking very similar, that it's taking companies longer to go through them and longer to vet things to make sure that people really have the skills that are on their resume.
In that same survey about hiring, 65% of hiring managers said AI-generated resumes are making it harder to assess real skills.
It can certainly help people make sentences and things a lot crisper, but you want to make sure that that resume really reflects you.
Did you deliver a project on time? Manage a budget? Launch a social media campaign? Faye says those are all examples that should be fleshed out quantitatively in a cover letter and resume to help you stand out. She also recommends applicants reach out directly to hiring managers in addition to filling out an application. If you do land an interview, she recommends asking what the company's timeline is to fill the position so you have a better understanding of their timing. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And those are our top consumer stories. We'll have a full look at the forecast when we come back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 7:43 now on this Tuesday morning. Again, beginning with the future track. A reminder, while we don't have any fire weather alerts for the area, it's simply because the winds today, while they're still very gusty, are just below that criteria. But we're still talking 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, no outdoor burning. And be cautious. Well, really, don't discard anything that's flammable from your car, your house, whatever the case may be, because of the dry conditions. We have these mostly cloudy to straight up cloudy skies throughout the day. Any of us could see a shower, but most of us won't. Future track kind of gives us a rough view of what it might look like. It's not a guarantee it's going to play out exactly as you see, but a couple of showers, somewhat like this little guy here, may be what we get. We could get one or two of those today. Again, that's why most of us will be dry. Now, winds will begin to ease up after midnight tonight. We'll start to go partly cloudy, still mild tomorrow. We'll have some partly cloudy skies through the day, eventually clearing later in the day with mostly clear skies overnight. Winds will be light through the first part of Wednesday, but into the evening and overnight hours, they do pick up a bit out of the southwest. Not as much as what we're seeing today, but they will still be a bit on the gusty side. Now, Thursday is where things start to change. Winds will pick up just a bit more as we go into Thursday morning. By Thursday afternoon, those winds really start to pick up, and they'll be even more so as we go into the evening because we have a system that's going to pass just off to our north and northeast. So close enough to bring in gusty winds, not close enough to bring any precipitation. It's really not got much associated with it, but we'll have gusty winds. They'll continue into the evening, eventually shifting out of the northwest late evening Thursday and into early Friday morning, and that sets the stage for temperatures to get much colder, but seasonably colder across the area. Mostly cloudy skies out there. Westco Camera 7th and Range Line. Low 50s to start our day, mid 60s by 11 a.m. And as we head into the afternoon, our highs upper 60s, low 70s. And we'll have those south winds sustained 15 to 25 with gusts up to 40. So not only no burning, but if you've got a high profile vehicle, mid-sized vehicle, or you're towing a larger trailer or something, you want to be cautious, especially on east-west roadways, because of those gusty winds. Into the evening we go. Still mostly cloudy, still breezy, mild, mid-50s by 10, 50 overnight tonight, partly cloudy, and as I mentioned, those winds easing up south at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow, low 70s, 50s again tomorrow night. Not bad Thursday. While our weather will change Thursday, it won't be until later in the day. So still upper 60s, maybe some low 70s. We're back into the 30s, maybe some upper 20s Thursday night, and then we get normal temperatures. They're going to feel a lot colder heading into the weekend, start of next week. Now, this looks scary, but again, keep in mind right now what the chances are. They're not very good. So we're talking isolated, widely scattered at best into the weekend. But what we've got is our lows dropping to normal. So that's below freezing, back into the mid-upper 20s. We have some moisture coming in, so we could get some light showers late Friday that could transition briefly to a wintry mix until temperatures begin warming on Saturday. And then anybody seeing any kind of precipitation, it'll transition to showers. And anything that hangs on, which won't be much, going from Saturday night into Sunday, that process repeats because, again, we drop back down below freezing, and that will switch it back to a wintry mix, maybe a little bit of a shower in the morning Sunday as temperatures warm back up again. No major concerns for anything significant or any real accumulations, but bridges, overpasses, I could get a little colder, could get some slick spots as we head Friday night into Saturday, and again Saturday night into Sunday. This return to normal, though, looks to be short-lived, climbing back above average by the second half of next week. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more after this.
Well, a zoo in France is welcoming the first new addition to its elephant family in 13 years. The Beauvais Zoo in central France welcomed a baby elephant on Sunday.
According to the zoo, the delivery was not straightforward, and they were not sure if the mother and baby would survive. The baby girl was born after a 7-hour delivery, weighing 330 pounds.
This 37-year-old new mama is blind, but she's been successfully helping the new baby to feed.
Certainly a unique birth. Very cute. And baby elephant, 350 pounds. That is a baby.
Thank goodness human babies aren't that size.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't even begin to imagine. Well, it's a curling kerfuffle featuring a cursing Canadian, and it's going viral.
Internet memes are exploding after a Swedish curler accused a Canadian of cheating during an Olympic match Friday. There's Sweden's Oscar Eriksson and Canada's Mark Kennedy.
A video shows the Swede delivering his accusation. It features Kennedy pushing back with F-bombs right there on the Olympic ice.
The sports oversight group, World Curling, says it gave the Canadian a warning. Its rules forbid foul language and other behavior deemed inappropriate.
Critics on social media say the altercation sullies curling's tradition of sportsmanship. How violent and frustrating could that sport get? Apparently significantly so.
I have read a little bit on this, though, and evidently Canada has like a very controversial curling, activity, like the way they do it. Like, it's very controversial, their method of doing it, and people think it's cheating. And they're like, no, it's allowed. And it's a whole controversy. It's the Canadian curling controversy that led to a kerfuffle.
All right,
well, it's a sight to behold.
That's what it says, ice caves. Find out what that is.
And it's a sight to behold is what it is. A rare and majestic winter wonderland in northern Wisconsin. The Myers Beach ice caves border the shores of Lake Superior and are now open to the public.
The caves are located on the Apostle Islands National Lake Shore. This is the first time in 11 years that conditions are allowing people to roam the caves.
Workers only allow visitors access when the weather allows and if current ice conditions remain stable. A spokesperson for the National Lake Shore said a few places offer an experience like this.
Now, safety is top priority, so officials are constantly monitoring for any weather changes. Ice caves. Caves, man. Yeah, when I was a kid, caves are cool. I don't know what it is. As I've gotten older, man, there are more things that freak me out more as an adult than it did when I was a kid.
I think it's
claustrophobic.
Have you seen the videos and you're like, look at how this one caved person traveling through a cave got stuck and died in this horrible way.
Thanks.
I've seen those and I'm like, oh, I don't like it anymore.
I'm just worried about the cave collapsing or a cave in or something, and then you're trapped and there's no way out. Okay.
That's horrible.
Those are more fears that are unlocked for folks. That's that's what you'll think about next time. Well, something that is very interesting, actually. I mean, for me, I'm big into history and ships and things like that.
Yes.
Well, searchers in Michigan have located the wreckage of a steamer that sank more than 150 years ago. 80-year-old Paul Ahorn discovered the Lac La Belle in Lake Michigan back in 2022 after spending 65 years looking for it.
But the scuba diver just announced it. He says a clue from a fellow wreck hunter and an author named Ross Richardson led him to the location.
Now, Ahorn declined to reveal what that clue was. Richardson said a commercial fisherman found an item that appeared to come from a steamship from the 1800s.
Most of the 53 people aboard the luxury steamer made it to safety when the ship sank in 1872. 8 of them died when their lifeboat capsized.
There are up to 10,000 undiscovered shipwrecks in the Great Lakes.
That's just a crazy number to me.
That really is. I mean, considering 10, the Great Lakes. I mean, but don't get me wrong. There's the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yes.
The weather can get really rough on those lakes, and it can be very, very intense and dangerous for ships on the Great Lakes. So, I mean, I guess, but just 10,000 seems like a lot.
But luckily, our weather around here is not that rough.
No, not that rough at all. We'll have another look at that forecast and your wake-up recap right after this.
This is your Wake Up Recap for February 17th. Your top stories to start your day. The FBI is searching for a Southwest Missouri man accused of running a massive cattle fraud scheme. The U.S. Attorney's Office filed federal charges against Joshua Robert Link of Stratford, Missouri. Prosecutors say it was a $220 million scam that victimized more than 2,200 people nationwide. Link and 4 others allegedly promised investors they would buy specific cattle, raise them, and sell the meat for profit through their company Agridime. Instead, authorities say they used new investor money to pay earlier investors and personal expenses. The other defendants have been arrested. A Carl Junction police officer has died. A statement from the Carl Junction Police Department says Officer John Todd Gaines appeared to suffer a medical emergency at his home shortly after his shift ended early Monday morning. Officer Gaines worked at Carl Junction since July 2024. The list of agencies and police departments extending their condolences continues to grow. There is no word yet on services. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And again, today we are warm and breezy, upper 60s, low 70s, mostly cloudy, maybe an isolated shower, 2 south winds gusting to 40, so absolutely no burning. Winds ease up after midnight, back down about 50, still mild through Thursday, and then seasonable temperatures into the weekend. Maybe a brief wintry mix, few showers out there, nothing significant, and we'll warm up in the second half of next week. And that is our time for now. We'll see you back here at noon with more news and weather.
Have a great rest of your morning.